Hey, language learners, and a big welcome to everybody who is preparing for an oral exam in particular. So, if you are busy preparing for IELTS, then please go ahead and have a look at my blog post. There are some steps to follow, a bit of a roadmap to give you some advice on how to get yourself ready for your exam, plus some resources. There are lots of free resources, guys. So yeah, I think use them because preparing for an exam doesn't just take like one single approach. I think you need to make sure that you fully understand what is required of you and try different things so that you have a more overall um, feeling of being prepared for your exam. So, in this video, we're going to have a look at some common IELTS questions that reoccur over the years. And you'll notice that there's a bit of a theme, so you can really work on making sure that you are really ready for your oral exam. A little note too, that the oral exam normally has a worse score than the other parts. So you really need to work at all areas of your exam because your speaking part might let you down a little bit. So without further ado, let's get into the presentation. The IELTS speaking exam is in three parts, and the first part is questions that are about you. It doesn't take very long. It's a bit of a warm-up. And so please do a warm-up before your exam. Don't use this time to start thinking in English. Also, notice that yes/no answers are not going to be that good, and your answers should be ranging in length, but 20 to 40 seconds, I would say, is a good answer for these kind of questions. They're everyday things. They're not hard to answer. Remember, they're trying to see your use of English, and it should be conversational and responding well, okay? I know in the beginning you're often quite nervous. So let's have a look. This is about you. If you need any of this information, please pause and copy the screen, okay? So it's just about you. A little weird thing, know how to spell your name in English, like ABC, right? Like my name's Sandra, Sandra. Don't be stuck not knowing how to spell your name. Know your town. Give a little bit more. Super common question. If you're working or studying, talk about your interests and what you like or don't like. This will, yeah, the speaking exam does not have academic and non-academic. It's just one exam. But still, then you might be asked about stuff if you are going for academic purposes. You'll be asked about work if you're a working person. And really, you should be able to talk about this. So if you don't normally talk about yourself, your work, and things that you're interested in, please join a chat club. I host one on Tuesdays and on Wednesdays every week, and it will give you time to introduce yourself and to talk about these everyday things with people. Okay, talking about your town, where you come from. Give it a little bit more, please. Tell them where I come from. It's an interesting place. It's part of Andalusia. We have, a small population. It's very historic, whatever, something interesting about your town. Some more about your town. If there's a famous place, what do people do for jobs, the main economy, know where you live, talk about it nicely, right? Free time, what do you enjoy doing in your free time? If you have some hobbies, definitely you want to be able to talk about your interests. They're not trying to catch you out. So please make sure you know how to talk about things that interest you. Holidays, you could maybe even end up talking about future or past. Okay, this is an opportunity for them to examine your use of future tense and past tense. So talking about holidays is a good one. Also, how you traveled and your ideas around that. Here's transport. How did you get here today? These sound so boring. Truthfully, they are quite boring. So make sure you answer them well. This is not tricky stuff, guys. Not tricky. Favorite shop. Describe your neighborhood. Things you enjoy reading. definitely be able to talk about a book, give a little bit of a review, not like a 10-minute one, a 40-second response on books you like, the genre you like, the author you like, the book you really enjoyed, a newspaper you like to read. I don't read newspapers, but I subscribe to this email list. Something. Don't just be like, no, I don't read. Start reading now and get interested in something so you have something to talk about, to demonstrate your skill in English. And sports. Yeah, I'm not a sports fan, so I wouldn't know, but I think you do need to pick out a sport that interests you, a sport you've taken part in, a match that you've gone to see. Come up with some examples and ideas around this. Okay, that's part one. So moving on to part two. Moving on to part two. Okay, now a lot of people get super nervous about this part of the exam, and that is not going to do you any favors. So you must practice. This is 2-minute response. Now, if you have gone blank because you've panicked, 2 minutes is an eternity. Some of the speaking exams will wait for you to talk for 2 minutes, but this one, IELTS will not do that. After 1 minute, if you're struggling, they will cut you off and continue with the exam. So you want to be able to talk and get that feeling for 2 minutes. So please practice, time yourself, put a timer on so it beeps and that's 2 minutes, because you need to answer all the questions that you're given. So the examiner will give you a little card, or you'll receive the instructions somehow. And you can make notes not on the card, but separately. You don't have much time. You have 30 seconds to prepare your talk. You need to answer the question and address the 4 points that you've been given alongside with that. So, for example, this first one is a beautiful place to visit in your country, where it is, how to get there, what there is to do when you're there, and why you recommend this. Really, it's really super simple, and you can prepare these things in advance. Okay, you can think of stories, anecdotes, things that you did that you really liked, things that went really wrong, or whatever, the transport involved. You can prepare this in advance. You don't have to sit there not knowing how to talk about these everyday topics. The challenge is you need to get a little bit of a framework in your head that you can get used to answering the question. So the formula is something like repeat the question. Make sure you answer each of those questions. If there is a question that really you only have one sentence, like where is it in Hong Kong, then get that out of the way and answer it, but make sure you answer it. And then try to fill up your time with because, for example, what's this happened once upon a time, I nearly said, but not quite that. And then you can always sum up, referring back to the beautiful place in the city, like in your country, your main idea, and and usually your time will be up by then. Yeah. So sum up. So all in all, this place that I really highly recommend is, for these reasons. Okay. Use anecdotes. I definitely think prepare some in advance. Okay. Beautiful place, person that you admire, family member and non-family member, alive or dead, their relationship, right? So that's for sure. Your favorite shop. Shopping comes up. I think it's so boring, but yeah, shopping can come up. Open air markets, special occasions that links up to festivals and things that I think are normally quite interesting to talk about. And you can easily prepare 2 or 3 things to talk about there. A memorable journey. There's the travel thing coming up again. School, right? This is memories of your past when you went there, or it could be current school. Okay. An exciting experience in your life. Wow, that just leaves it like completely open. But try to find something you can talk about that's exciting, and that why it was exciting, or the why is so important. And the newspaper, magazine article, the book, something along those lines, something you read. And the sporting event. There we go, guys. You can really see. I hope that helps. You can see how you can like group these into like topics. Like I need to be able to talk about sports, cultural events, festivals, people I admire. Have stories, have examples. You can prepare this in advance. Practice doing these. Take 2 minutes, time yourself so that you internally feel this is the speed I need to move through these, because 4 topics need to, well, 4 parts of the talk need to be addressed, and you can introduce and conclude. Moving on to the next one. Finally, it's part 3, right? This is the drawing to the end of the oral exam. And this is your opportunity to really shine. If you found 1 difficult because you were full of nerves, 2 difficult because now you feel like you're completely messed up, 3 is your opportunity to shine. Please, even, it doesn't matter, even if you mess up in the beginning, you keep pushing through that exam because you can still try to do okay in the end, even if you didn't do so well in the beginning. But if you're prepared, you're going to do fine. So part 3 is more in-depth, more conversational, and you have your opportunity to wow with vocabulary, native use of English, idiomatic use of English, common phrases, and so on. The questions will be related to the topic you just had. So if you had a topic you don't enjoy, like for example, if they asked me about sport, I'd be like, crying about part 3. But, right, it does mean that you can discuss this in a little bit more depth. You can go into your examples, you can refer to things. And here we go. There are so many examples in this particular set of slides, so I don't want to rush you, but I think use the pause button if you need to pause and read these. Okay, so talking about shopping and things that you can buy, money. Talking about attitudes to family, friends, and responsibilities within a family. Talking about tourism, conservation, and historic buildings and monuments. Talking about shopping, shopping in general, online shopping as well, yeah. Attitudes to food, learning about food, and over here we even have food aid, right? So related to the subject of food. Travel and learning, tourism and culture, ways of traveling. Reasons for daily travel, that could be called commuting as well, and the benefits of international travel. Attitudes towards education, focus of education and technology. Safety and danger, taking risks, adventure. Attitudes to newspapers, taste in reading, public and private lives. Yeah, talking about famous people too. And sport and health. So I think that covers a wide range of topics, but you can really see how the topics do repeat themselves. So make sure you can maybe each day go and study something and say, I'm going to find some examples, some news articles, some social media comments on this, some quotes, interesting facts and figures, write them out, whatever style you memorize information best. Check that you have vocabulary, practice saying it out loud, check that you can answer some of these questions that I've shown you, and get some practice. And obviously, a reminder that I do help people prepare for their oral exams. So I hope that helps you. It's a real quick whiz through like IELTS questions. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like, and that you can go through to my blog site and you can read a little bit more. All the information will be in the description. So, learners, be strong, have fun, have a plan, be confident. Bye.